So, what in the world could a 3,500-year-old text about a bunch of people wandering in the desert possibly have to do with being a financial trader today? Well, as it turns out, pretty much everything. Today, we're going to dig into the Book of Numbers and pull out what is honestly a shockingly powerful blueprint for navigating the total chaos of the market. Let's just kick things off with what the source calls the uncomfortable mirror. Just look at this. On the left, you've got Israel in the wilderness. They're complaining, they're rebelling against the rules, they're spiraling into unbelief. And on the right, the trader deep in a drawdown, complaining about the market, abandoning their tried and true system, and drowning in negative self-talk. The parallel is, well, it's a little too real, isn't it? All right, so here's our game plan, our journey through this wilderness. First, we're going to count your army. Then, we'll tackle how to slay your inner giants. After that, it's all about learning to act with decisive zeal. And finally, we'll figure out how to measure your true growth. Okay, first things first, we have to count your army. This is all about laying that concrete foundation before the market even opens. Honestly, if you get this part right, everything that comes after gets a whole lot easier. You know, the Book of Numbers literally opens with God telling Moses to take a census. They count exactly 603,550 men ready for battle. Now, at first glance, that just seems like some random ancient piece of trivia. But what on earth does a military head count from thousands of years ago have to do with your trading account? It means everything. See, just like Israel had to know its exact strength before heading into a fight, you have to conduct your own census. And I'm not talking about a vague guess. This is a non-negotiable, down-to-the-dollar accounting of your balance, your margin, your total exposure, and your hard stop-loss for the day. I mean, think about it. Going to war without counting your soldiers is just, it's a recipe for absolute disaster. So what does this look like in practice? It's your pre-session census, your daily ritual. 4 simple steps. 1, know your exact balance. 2, calculate your max position size based on your rules. 3, manage your total exposure across all trades. And 4, maybe the most important, define your max loss limit for the day, the point where you walk away, no questions asked. This right here, this simple process, is what stops you from blowing up. All right, we've got our external prep locked down. Now we got to turn inward. This next part is all about slaying your inner giants. This is the psychological war that, let's be honest, really decides if you're going to make it through the trading wilderness or not. Man, this one quote, it just gets to the very heart of a trader's self-sabotage. You had 12 spies who all saw the exact same thing, the same land, the same challenges, the same giants in the market. But 10 of them came back with this report. Notice the wording. We seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers. How they saw themselves, their own identity, literally created their reality. So this really boils down to a choice that you have to make every single day. Are you going with the grasshopper report? You know the one. It's based on fear, it focuses only on the obstacles, and it leads to total paralysis. Or are you choosing Caleb's report? That one is based on your capability, it focuses on strategy, and it leads to decisive action. Every morning, you choose which report you're going to believe. And look, the stakes for choosing the wrong report, they are so high. For that one season of unbelief, Israel got hit with a 40-year sentence of just wandering in circles. For a trader, that looks like blowing up an account, abandoning a perfectly good system during a drawdown, or just giving up entirely. One bad season of belief can literally cost you years of progress. So how do you actually recover from those gut-wrenching mistakes? Well, it comes from this kind of weird, counterintuitive idea called the bronze serpent principle. The short version of the story is when the Israelites were getting bitten by venomous snakes, the cure God gave them was to look at a bronze statue of the very thing that was killing them. For us traders, the lesson is powerful. The cure for your worst trading losses is to look directly at them. You have to pull up the charts, analyze the mistake, and face it head on. Your healing, your growth, it's found in detailed examination, not in pretending it never happened. Okay, let's move into the heat of battle. Section 3. Act with decisive zeal. This is all about discipline and execution, right when the pressure is at its peak. You know, back in the wilderness, there was this guy, Korah, who started a rebellion. His argument was basically, hey, we don't need all these rules and structure. For traders, we hear these Korah voices all the time, both from inside our own heads and from others. It's that voice that says, stop losses are for newbies, or risk management just holds you back, or my personal favorite, you don't need a plan, just feel the market. Listening to those voices leads to one place, and one place only, your account getting swallowed whole. Here's a wild but perfect metaphor for you. Think of your trading system as Balaam's donkey. In the story, this prophet, Balaam, is so blinded by greed and ambition that he can't see an angel with a drawn sword standing right in his path. But his donkey sees it, and it refuses to move forward, saving his life. Your system is that donkey. It sees the danger, the bad setup, the hidden risk that your ambition and your greed have made you blind to. You gotta learn to trust the donkey. Now, to deal with that one habit, that one thing that's truly destroying your account, you need something the source calls Phinehas's zeal. When a plague was ripping through Israel, this priest named Phinehas took a spear, decisively ended the source of the problem with one action, and the plague stopped. Instantly. That's the attitude we need. Swift, decisive, absolutely non-negotiable action against our own worst enemy. And here's the 3-step plan to make it happen. Step 1. Name the plague. Be brutally honest. What is that one destructive habit? Revenge trading? Averaging down? Whatever it is, name it. Step 2. Define the exact action to stop it. Maybe it's a hard stop on your platform. Maybe it's a physical checklist. Define it. And step 3, the most critical part. Execute that action today. Not tomorrow, not next week when you feel ready. Today. End the plague. All right, for our final section, let's talk about how we measure progress, because I think most of us are doing it all wrong. It's time to measure your true growth. At the end of their 40 years in the desert, they took a second census. And get this, the total number of people was almost identical to the first one, but the people themselves were a completely new generation. That's our model for a real after-action report. Don't just look at your account balance. I want you to compare the trader you were when you started, confused, emotional, no rules, to the trader you are today. That right there is the only measurement that truly matters. Because here's the bottom line. Real progress, it's not just your P&L. It's the distance you've traveled between the trader you were and the trader you have become. Progress is measured in knowledge, in psychology, and in discipline. That's the kind of growth that actually lasts. And that just leaves us with this one big idea to chew on. The struggle, the drawdowns, all those painful lessons, that wilderness you're in, it's not wasted time. It is the curriculum. It's the very thing designed to forge you into the trader you're meant to be. So the only real question left is, who are you becoming in the process?